Time to head to an exciting place. Now in its 30th year, the North American International Auto Show is setting the stage for vehicles that are shaping the industry. And joining us now from the show in Detroit is Micah Muzio of Kelley Blue Book. Micah, welcome aboard, sir. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Yeah, it is cold in Detroit. I don't have to tell you you're an ex-Michigander, but man, all the hot action is happening inside Cobo Hall here. A ton of really interesting SUVs, pickup trucks, cars being revealed. In fact, one of the cars that really caught my attention is immediately to my side. This is the Hyundai Veloster, and it's all new for 2019. I've always loved the Veloster because it's got this asymmetric charm, almost like the Millennium Falcon. You got one door on one side, two doors on the other in this tidy hatchback form factor. But what's really neat about the Veloster is that some really solid standard equipment, lane keeping assist, forward collision alert, all come standard. But what's most thrilling is that Hyundai has introduced a new high performance lineup that they're calling N. So the first of the Hyundai N vehicles is this particular Veloster right here, the Veloster N. So while the normal Veloster has up to 201 horsepower, the N, 275 horsepower, limited slip differential, sport tune suspension. It looks awesome. It comes in this really neat blue that I'm a huge fan of. So super excited to see a cool car in an auto show that really seems to be dominated by SUVs. And along those lines, one SUV that was unveiled that is going to be particularly significant is the Acura RDX. Actually, they're calling it the Acura RDX prototype, but really it's just a very, very thinly veiled look at what the actual production vehicle is going to be for 2019. And actually, I was just sitting in it. Beautiful interior, and I just learned that the panoramic moonroof that's in it, totally standard. So it feels very open, high quality interior, super cool looking. Under the hood, they've got a 2-liter turbocharged engine, 10-speed automatic transmission combination, which is the same powertrain that we've experienced in the Honda Accord and really, really liked. It's also going to come with optional super handling all-wheel drive. So I think the RDX is going to be a ton of fun to drive. It's actually bigger than the current RDX. And then as a father, you know, you ever have those moments where, you know, you're walking up to the SUV with your child and you try and open up the hatchback. It's such a pain. They've got a new foot-activated version that'll just power its way up. So I'm thrilled about that. But I think one thing we have to talk about, surprises. And one of the surprises at this year's Detroit show is a company called GAC Motor. They're a Chinese company, and I've been coming to the Detroit Auto Show now for the better part of a decade, and it seems like every single year we hear news about, oh, a Chinese manufacturer has interest in coming to the North American market. Looks like it's actually going to happen. They've got plans to come in 2019 with a SUV. It's a 7-passenger SUV called the GS8. It's got an LED matrix headlight setup, big panoramic moonroof, 10-inch infotainment display, so a lot of really cool stuff. But yeah, it looks like it's finally going to happen. GAC Motor is going to bring Chinese vehicles to the American market starting in 2019, and that's going to be their entry point. And then eventually they're going to add minivan, sedans, other SUVs. So that's kind of a thrilling development. Interesting to see where that goes. But that's just a little taste of what's happening here at Detroit. For a deeper view into all the cool Detroit vehicles, you can head over to kbb.com, which is where I work for Kelley Blue Book, and get complete auto show coverage.
I love it. I love it. I mean, the weather's cold there in Detroit, but the cars are red hot. I guess the rocket boosters are optional, huh, Micah?
Oh my gosh, I love the rocket boosters.
Gotta have those. Hey, Micah, thanks so much for joining us this morning, all right?
Thanks for having me.
You got it. All right. Great looking cars up there in Detroit. We'll be back with more Midday Maryland right after this.